Geminis, Gemini moon especially, Gemini sun and rising. Welcome to Osirian Rivers channel, where we're going to blend rune stones and oracle cards to bring you your message. This message is for January 2020, and the first rune we have is of the South. Next we have Gateway. Now January is going to be for you guys honoring that part of you that is what ties the twins together. The last rune we have is separation. Alright. I don't know if it really matters where I put them. So for setting yourself up for this upcoming year, we're coming right up on this January 10th date of the full moon, this lunar eclipse. That is also it's in the air sign of Aquarius. So you have some commonalities there. You have something to work with on that energy. It's really about humankind all together as one and who we communicate with. This rune of the South. It's partnerships. You see partnerships in there. The X marks the spot. You also have a stillness. So people like to say that Geminis are wishy-washy, that they don't really know what they're saying, or they're just jokesters or tricksters. And you can be if you want to, you know, it's not that you don't have that in you. Mostly though, people misunderstand. They can't see the duality, they can't see the flexibility that is inherent in Geminis. And everybody likes to beat up on Geminis, and I don't get it. My Venus is in Gemini, and I love it. It is what stops me from being too serious and knowing how to love people lightheartedly and connect with people. Because you are great connectors. So the card that we have out for you is growth. Growing your connections. And also retreating from any sort of things beliefs that have marked you, that have marked yourself, your identity. People who have pigeonholed you into believing you're this one way, when really that is just one face of the multifaceted being that is you. You can play so many roles. You have so many dynamics and aspects. And the gateway that you're at in January 2020 is asking you to be able to take on all the roles that you want to take on in your life and separate from any blockages that are going to keep you from that. Okay, again, the X for partnerships. Any blockages at all. Any old belief systems. Like, let's say this could be really personal too. This could be something that feels super deep and harsh realization for you. Maybe a belief that you've always had, and it's just sort of like a thought that kind of wouldn't leave you alone. You're like, oh, why do I believe that? Something that maybe you hadn't seen the other side to, And now you're growing and adapting your ability to see, to envision futures for yourself. And going with it, because you guys have a lot of options. You have a lot of different ways you can grow. So it's like, what is looking the best for you? Unless, of course, you are refusing to separate from an old belief system. And this gateway rune right here is not necessarily calling for you to just immediately like jump into a new way of being. It's just letting you know that that gateway is coming up. And for you to get an angle on it, get a feel for what you want to look like on the other side. Who do you want that self to be when you walk through? Who are you right now in relationship with other people? Do they know? Do you even know? Do you even want to think about it? Maybe, maybe not. It's just like you can play just about any role that you feel like taking on. You can act any sort of way. But how do you want to be presented? How do you want the people to see you? Because if you don't give them a way to see you, they're going to keep believing stuff that's just wrong. And you're really given an opportunity to grow here. So also with separation being reversed and the gateway being reversed, it's to say that there's some difficulties, like trepidation, like that you might regret something. You're like, oh, I really believe this, or this is part of me, my personhood, and what you believed made you valuable in your partnerships. You're like, oh man, am I gonna regret that? And it's like, just collect yourself and understand that however you're supposed to grow, whatever is supposed to happen is already underfoot. It's already happening, and you just have to let that momentum unfold. You just sort of like, trying to think of a good way to put this with, it's sort of like plants. What's the number one thing that kills plants? Okay? People don't water them, or they water them too much. It's this unfoldment that's happening that if you pay too much mind to it, it won't come through the way that it's supposed to. So Geminis have a tendency to overthink everything. And I definitely overthink everything in love with my Venus and Gemini, and it doesn't save me any of the heartbreak. It doesn't save me any of the hard feelings that come up. In fact, it probably creates more. So as long as you're conscious of like how what you're doing, what you're undertaking affects people around you, and that when you're separated from old belief systems, that you're honest, you're totally honest about why that has to happen, and the growth will be quick. This is not something you're even gonna have to wait until February to see, or like if you start something, that's a process, you might see results back pretty quickly. I keep even hearing like instant. An instant shift in perspective. And then it's going to be like, oh wow, I have all this room in my life to grow. I hope you guys like this more runic based reading. I'd like to do more of them for you and for everybody. So if that was something that you liked and you want to see again, please comment below. I wish you a super, super happy full moon, Gemini. Soulmate capabilities, network capabilities, being your fabulous self, and understanding that your wit might be faltering right now, like your sharp-tonguedness. People might be kind of picking at you, and that is totally okay. Just like let it go, let it be, and honor your own growth. That's just going to help everybody else out around you, and they're just going to be like, oh wow, I can't believe I ever even did that. Not that we even care, because we're just like moved past it. Focus on your own thing. If you made it this far, you probably liked the video. Hit the like button for me. That's how this channel grows, and that's how we get messages out to all our signs, all our friends. Thank you so much for watching, and you can always email me to book a private reading or get a private video for yourself at osirianrivers@gmail.com.